Since when is it like cool to steal things? You know, we saw the devious lick trends a couple years ago, and I keep seeing on social media people trying to normalize it. Now we're stealing from little old ladies? What? This is it's going too far. I'm not a fan. Do not support. Happy Apple Picking Day! Quick recap for all of our new friends. And we do this recap for a reason. If you want a chance for your story to be featured on Am I the Bad Apple, you can submit it to my subreddit, r/Am I the Bad Apple. And a reminder, because we all come from different branches of the apple tree and have different experiences, those experiences shape our opinions. If someone hasn't had a particular perspective, why would they think about it? Like, you don't know what you don't know, and we should not shame people for things they don't know. And you also shouldn't be closed-minded that maybe you don't know that you don't know things. They don't know that we know, they don't know we don't know. Is that the line from Friends? Like, I don't know if that's exactly right. But you get the point. And I've had a lot of people in the comments say, we're not children, we don't need reminders, blah, 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 blah. Well, sometimes I see the comments, and we clearly do. And it's not just for reoccurring friends. This reminder is mainly for our new friends who may not have seen the series before. Everyone is welcome to join the community. We get new friends to come join our community every single week, which is great. We just gotta make sure that they know, how things are done here. So without further ado, let's get started with this week's episode of Am I the Bad Apple? Let's go apple picking. Apple number 1. Am I the bad apple for being difficult when we go out with friends? This has been an ongoing issue, okay? I have a group of friends that like to eat nicer foods. Personally, for me, 28 female, I'm fine with just getting something cheap on the menu. The issue is, all these friends like to just split the check. I've had the conversation so many times that I just want to pay for what I ordered. It always just results in some argument where either everyone's mad or I just cave. I also make a lot more than my friends, so it always just results in them basically calling me cheap. They don't get that I just want to pay for my meal and that's it. Anyways, we went out to eat the other day and they all ordered things that were around $30 each. I got the house salad and my total was around $12. They told the server to just split the bill and I didn't want to fight about it anymore. So I asked the server to add on an additional entree and a dessert for me to take as a to-go order for me to take home, and this resulted in my personal bill going up into about $30. Well, my friends were shocked. They said, what are you doing? I told them I'm getting more food, and they got upset because that meant I increased the total that everyone would need to pay. That resulted in another argument, and they told me that I was being a jerk. I can never win. It feels like they just want me to pay more to a couple extra bucks of their food. Like, I don't understand what the big deal is. If they're all allowed to order $30 worth of food and we all split it, why can't I order the same amount? Am I being cheap or am I being a jerk? Was I the bad apple? Wow, the gaslighting here. Oh my gosh. No, these friends are taking advantage of you. And it feels like these friends, I'm gonna be so honest, okay? Especially since content creating, it is so obvious. Like, who just assumes, oh, well, you make more money, so you can do this, or you can cover the bill, or you can like blah, blah, blah. I'm telling you, friends who are like so focused on your money like that it's so gross and cringy and no. The fact that they get mad when you're trying to cover your own food, there is no explanation for that other than the fact that they want you to like make their dinner cheaper. There's not. You can't give me any other explanation. Because the fact is, if everything is about the same, if everything's costing about the same, and then everyone splits it, it shouldn't change the total of their bill, right? They should still be paying about what they ordered. But then when you add on you only getting a salad and you being an outlier and making that sum of a price go down, like they're saving a couple bucks on dinner and they're getting more expensive entrees and not paying the full price for it. The fact that they're genuinely getting mad at you for making your bill cost about the same for them is weird. Like, that shows the true motives, right? Because usually when people tell waitstaff, oh, just go ahead, split it evenly, it's more about like convenience for the waitstaff. It's not supposed to be about them making a quick buck. okay? So then when you went on and added more food, yes, you ended up getting more food because you took multiple cheaper options. The only reason they would have gotten mad about that, because it's still the same convenience for the waitstaff, and for them to specifically say, well, that's making our total go up. No, Susan, it means that you're gonna end up paying for what you bought. If you're getting mad about that, that shows that this was never about just splitting the bill and making it easier on waitstaff. It's always been about you paying less for like what you purchased. That's been the whole thing. And I personally would feel so self-conscious about spending my time with these people, because then my whole concern is, do you even want me to go to these dinners or these lunches, or are you just hoping that like I save you a couple bucks every time we go? I would no longer feel comfortable going out with this group. I would, I don't like it. That's a red flag. And like, it's not even that they're doing it unintentionally, like them throwing a fit about you making your bill equal what they ordered, that shows they know what they're doing. That shows intent, that shows purpose, that shows so much shadiness. I'm just, I'm going good Apple. And I've seen this like become more of a trend. I've seen so many people complain about this online, how their friends and or family throw fits when they either don't want to split evenly or they order something of equal value, and it just shows that these people, again, aren't concerned with just making it easier on the waitstaff. They're just concerned with saving a couple bucks. And I think that's really gross to manipulate your friends and family like that. Like, I'm not a fan of that behavior. Apple number 2. And probably the bad apple for throwing some karma at my husband. We had our daughter last year, and I've put on about 30 pounds. Now, even though I have gained weight, I don't think I'm fat. My legs have just gotten thicker. Anyways, my husband keeps making comments saying that
you haven't stopped eating since you got pregnant.
Yesterday I was preparing a bottle for our daughter, and he said,
why don't you move out of the way? Like, don't you get how big you've become?
He tried to play it off after and say that he was just talking about my butt. But it really hurt my feelings, and I said, hey, at least a fat person can lose weight, okay? But your hair is never gonna grow back. For context, he's only 27, but the front of his hair and the middle have thinned out a lot. He's very self-conscious about this, to the point that he won't leave the house without a hat, and he'll turn around if he realizes he forgot to take one with him. He's been so angry at me since I left the comment, but I feel like if he keeps talking about my weight, I can talk about his hairline. So, was I the bad apple? Everything about this story just feels like a red flag to me. So I've said similar things in the past, that when people are being jerks, like, do I think that giving them a taste of their own medicine is okay? Yeah, but there are still some lines that I personally feel like don't need to be crossed. And making fun of someone's appearance is one of them, okay? So like, once she decided to throw karma back at him, like give him a taste of his own medicine, once she decided to hone in on his appearance, something that he can't change, that's when she lost me, okay? Because I don't understand this notion of like, when you're with somebody, okay, especially when you're married, because like, that's for the long haul, right? No one is perfect. People aren't perfect. Relationships aren't perfect. Like, you are going to end up hurting your spouse. Okay? It's going to happen. You guys are going to hurt each other's feelings. People are gonna have bad days. People are gonna have bad weeks. Relationships are going to have like ups and downs, okay? Like, you're going to hurt each other's feelings. It's just going to be what it is. But I can't stand the whole like, they hurt my feelings, and so I want them to feel as bad as I do. Like, that to me just, I don't like it. I don't like it. I think it's trashy. I think it's gross. I think it's so inconsiderate. Like, I get that people get mad and people get heated, but the intentionally going out of your way to bring your partner down to feel as bad as you do, I do not like that. I don't support it. It's a huge red flag for me, and so I'm going to go bad apple on that one, because for me, that just crossed a line that I cannot support. And you know what? There's probably going to be some people that do not agree with me, and I would love to hear your piece down. I already think I know what your piece is going to be, okay? I know there's going to be people saying, don't dish it out if you can't take it. I know there's going to be people who think she was justified, and I just don't agree. For me, commenting on someone's appearance, which I understand that he did, and I'm not saying that he was right. I think that him him making comments about her body is also gross. Like, I want to establish that. I know I didn't start with that. I probably should have started with that. But I think that him making fun of her body is also gross and disgusting. Like, as someone, I have been very self-conscious about me and growing and like settling into my adult body as well. Like, I would be devastated if Avery tried to compare what I look like right now to what I looked like in college, you know? That's so gross and hurtful, and like, I hate that. For me, that heard like, I want him to feel just as bad about himself. Like, that still doesn't make that okay for me. So I think everyone here is the bad apple. I think it's a whole bad batch. Bad apple, bad batch, like all the things. I still don't think I have an icon for a bad batch if someone wants to make me one. To be honest, there's not much that will be better than the wonderful individual who made our crab apple logos. So like, side note, the good and the bad apple logos were actually made by my mom, but the crab apple logos were actually made by one of our community members that just sent it to me on Reddit. I love it. We've used it ever since. So the only ones that I don't have one for is a Bad Batch and an apple pie. Do with that what you will. But for me, I'm definitely going Bad Batch, but we're gonna use the bad apple icon because I don't have a Bad Batch icon. So yeah. Apple number 3. Am I the bad apple for calling out my nephew for his inappropriate comment? I, 40 female, went to my parents' house for our family's Christmas. My brother, 37, was gonna be there with his kids. I haven't seen his kids in a long time because my brother and I have never really gotten along very well. Well, my family got to my parents' house first, and we were in the living room sitting down just talking to our family. When my brother and his family arrive, my nephew, 17, walks into the living room, sits down, looks right at me, and dead serious says, "Thanks so much for the mental illness." I asked him, "What are you talking about?" He said again, "Thanks so much for the mental illness. You're the only one in the family with a documented case of depression and mental health issues, so it must come from you." A little bit of context. I went through a lot growing up. I went through intensive therapy to get the help that I need to learn how to cope with all the trauma I received from the assaults I experienced. I put in a lot of work to make myself better. I mean, I'm now happily married with 4 kids. I've been off medications for 15 years and I haven't harmed myself in the same exact amount of time. I'm doing so well. So when my nephew pulled this stunt, I called him out and told him none of his issues would be my fault and that he needed to look at his parents and their mental health issues. He still insisted that it was my fault. I left it at that because my grandmother was there and I didn't want to cause a scene with her being there. I mean, I would have gotten up and just gone home, but this was a family thing and my kids wanted to see their grandparents and great-grandparents and I didn't want to ruin that. My nephew then sulked around the house and acted all depressed because I yelled at him. Yeah, I was accused of causing an issue and being hostile. I messaged my brother after I went home and told him what happened, and I called him out and wanted to know why he was telling my nephew about my medical issues. That he had no right to be telling him anything about me. Nothing. No response. I then messaged my ex-sister-in-law and told her off and told her that she and my brother had no right whatsoever to tell my nephew about my medical history and what I've done in the past. I told her that she needs to look into her past and all the issues that she has. I told all 3 of them off. After I told his mother off, my nephew sent a really nasty message telling me that I should have known he was joking. No, he wasn't. His parents are the one who passed genetic traits to him, not me. Am I the bad apple for calling them all out for what they did? Okay, it wasn't very clear to me who received the messages. I'm trying to, because she said, like, I told them all off. Did she send an additional text to the nephew, like the 17-year-old? Because I'm on board 100% for, like, calling him out then and there in front of the family saying, don't know what you're talking about, blah, 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 like this is your parents, not me, kind of thing, and there, right then and there. And I'm definitely all for her calling his parents and fussing them out for all the things, really. All the issues here is, one, they're like ignoring basic genetics and biology of like, you get your genes from your parents, right? And if you get something and you are showing traits or whatever of something that an aunt or an uncle is also showing, all that means is that your parent was a carrier for that gene. It might not be exhibiting those traits, but still had the gene for it. It doesn't mean that you got something from your aunt or your uncle. It means you got something from your parents and your grandparents that your aunt or uncle also got from the grandparents, right? That's what that means, first of all. Second of all, I feel like it's really gaslighty of the parents to be like, oh, all these issues that you're having, yeah, it's from your aunt. Like, first of all, like, why are you sitting there gossiping and talking about, like, her mental health journey? I feel like that's weird. Oh, you're acting up, you must get it from your aunt kind of thing. Like, I can't see another way in which that would come up. Because like she said, she and the brother don't get along. It's not like the parents are saying, oh, well, if you're having trouble, like reach out to your aunt because she experienced the same thing. Like, do we actually know how we went about it? No, we have absolutely no idea. But given that they don't speak and that the brother didn't apologize, didn't like reach out, oh, there must have been some misunderstanding. No, all she got was, oh, well, it was a joke. That shows me that there was not care and delicate like tending to the story of her trauma and mental health issues. Like, it just feels like it was all taken as a joke and like used in a very gaslighty way, you know what I mean? So I'm all for her calling them out, but if she sent an additional message to the 17-year-old, I don't like that, but I don't actually know if that happened or not. It just said I told all three of them off, and then I sent a message to my brother, and then I sent a message to my ex-sister-in-law, and then I got a message from my nephew saying that he was joking. But looking back at it now, like, it could have also meant the grammar was very strange. Like, I'll read you the way it was actually written. After I told his mother off, my nephew got a really nasty message telling me that if I knew at all, he was joking. That was the line. I tried to decipher what it meant, but I don't actually know. So we'll just go with the assumption that when she said I told all of them off, that she's talking about telling off the nephew in person in that moment and didn't send an additional message. And if we find out later that like she did, then I might change my ranking, but for now I'm gonna go good apple, because I think that, you know, calling it out right then and there in front of everyone, like, speak your piece, defend yourself, 100% stand up to misinformation, like, in the moment. I support that 100%. And then after going to the parents and being like, hey, where's your kid getting this? This isn't appropriate. This is unacceptable. This is my business, not yours. Yeah, I support that. And it's so sad. These are clearly parents who like don't believe in therapy and like don't take mental health very seriously. And I think like the key word here is the nephew was like, you're the only one with a documented case of mental health issues. Keyword on documented. And it just makes me feel like his parents are the kind of people that are like,
oh, well, having mental health issues and going to therapy gives you a label. They're anti-label people. And
that is so harmful. So harmful. Like, there's nothing wrong with therapy. Everyone can benefit from it. Like, there's no shame. It's so good for you. And everyone has issues, okay? No one's perfect. No one is perfect. Just, again, for those in the back. And, you know, even just talking to someone who understands the human psyche and the human brain and just human psychology about issues that you may have had or experienced in your life. Like, that's so healthy, just to get a better understanding of yourself, you know? And great, okay, it's not for everyone, but shaming people who do go through that, that's gross. I don't like it. Like, you do you and whatever's helpful for you, but shaming people for taking care of themselves in their own way too, like, I don't like it. Not a fan. So I'm gonna go good apple. Unless we find out that she also like sent an additional message to the minor, that then I might change that. But for now, we're gonna go good apple. Apple number 4. Am I the bad apple for stealing from an old lady? I, 22 female, was at Goodwill the other day just looking around. On one of the shelves, I noticed a basket that was turned upside down, so I picked it up to look at it and found a really pretty marble statue was underneath. I really liked it, and it was only $5, so I decided to get it. This lady near me noticed what I was doing and said, I actually think another lady was looking at that. I think she hid it under the basket so no one would see it. I asked, well, is she gonna buy it? And the lady said, oh, I'm not sure. I actually don't see her anywhere around the store, so maybe not. I decided to carry it around for a little while I was looking at other stuff and figured if whatever lady she was talking about saw me holding it, she would come up to me and say, hey, I was gonna buy that. Can I have it back? But no one did. After about 10-15 more minutes of looking, I was ready to leave and went to go check out. As soon as I placed my items on the counter, I heard a voice behind me say, are you kidding me? This old lady came right up behind me, put her hand on the statue and said, I was gonna buy it. I hid it, okay? It's mine. I don't like confrontation, but I was also kind of mad that she was getting in my face and screaming at me. I said, I've been carrying this around for a while and you haven't come up to talk to me about it until right now. I didn't know you were set on buying it. Well, didn't you notice it was hidden? I was making up my mind and hid it so no one else would see it. And I decided, I'm gonna buy it. I noticed that there was a man standing with her, probably her husband, who was just nodding along as she was screaming in my face and getting in my personal bubble. Someone did tell me someone else was looking at the statue, but I didn't know you were gonna buy it. Sorry, but I'm already getting it. I mean, if she came up to me and just spoke to me like a normal person, I probably would have given it to her, but the moment she came and put her hands on my stuff and got in my personal space, no, I was not letting her have this statue. We both looked at the poor cashier who kind of shrugged and said, yeah, I mean, she's already up here buying it. You can't really call dibs on something you haven't purchased yet. That's when the lady's husband got involved and said, come on, kid, let her have the statue. We're gonna put it in our dining room table. Like, where are you gonna put it? Your desk? I said, yep, I guess I am, because I'm buying it. They both just kind of scoffed and looked at each other like I was some punk who just disrespected them or something. I gave the cashier my card, signed for it. He hands me the bag, and meanwhile, they're still just standing there judging me and kind of yelling at me. The lady kept going. You want it that bad, huh? Even though I was already gonna buy it? I've been looking for a decoration like this for months. Are you just gonna die if you don't have it? So I said, yeah. She even started cussing me out before I closed the car door. I mean, I know I got kind of petty, but I don't necessarily think I was in the wrong, right? Or was I the bad apple? Not gonna lie, I agree so much with what she said, because I think, like, as much as, you know, we all want to imagine that we'd be like the perfect person in every situation, I definitely agree with what she said about how, like, if this woman just came up to her and was like, oh my gosh, I've been looking for this decoration for months, it's perfect, I kind of put it to the side, like, do you mind if I purchase this? And, like, even if she didn't, like, sit there and beg and grovel, if she was just like, oh, I'm so sorry, buy it off chance, like, is there any possible way you don't need this? Like, I put it to the side. I would just want to, like, ask my husband about it or think about it. Is there any chance he would let me buy it? I think I would, like, 100%, oh yeah, like a $5 kind of thing, like, unless it was something that I was like, I've also been looking for this forever. I would have 100% just given it to this lady, right? Because I don't need it. It was just something cool that I saw at Goodwill. But the moment that she went up, started yelling, put her hands on things that you were buying, like, I think I also would have probably put my foot down and been like, no, it's mine, sorry. Because, like, the fact of the matter is the cashier's right. You can't call dibs on things in the stores. Like, there's a big difference between, like, you didn't steal from this lady, okay? She might have, like, claimed that you stole this from her 100%, but you didn't steal from this lady. It's not like the 10-year-olds at Sephora, right, where they're taking things out of people's carts. Like, that's not okay. That's unacceptable. You can't do that. That's so messed up. But you can't just, like, oh, I see this at the store and I don't want anyone else to get it, so I'm just gonna, like, put it off to the side. And, like, yeah, you can hope that no one takes it. Because, like, I've been there. I've done that too. If I've seen something that I really wanted, but I was like, I have to think on it, I've put it to the side and just hope that no one would see it. And as a good citizen, if you decide you don't want it, you go and you put it back so that the store employees don't have to do it, right? Right? But the fact of the matter is, like, just because you put it to the side doesn't mean it's yours. Because, to be honest, most people don't go back and put it back if they decide they don't want it. So it just sits there. You can't call dibs on things like that. It's not how that works. If you want to call dibs, put it in your cart. put it in your basket. That's the only way to, or carry it around until you've made a decision. You can't leave the store and come back at another time and like take it personally that someone else found what you put to the side, or that an employee put it back, you know? And I think that there's gonna be people with different opinions. Some people are gonna say that the woman like clearly needed it more than the 22-year-old, and so she should have just given it to her, and that's fine. I personally have been a doormat for so long of my life that if someone came and started screaming at me over a $5 statue, I can definitely see myself doing exactly what this girl did and decided, nope, I want it. It's mine. Sorry. Not necessarily just to be mean, but more of like you're not gonna get in my face and scream at me and intimidate me into giving up something that I want. That's rude. That's mean. You don't get to do that. And I think that like I've just let people do that to me so long in my life. I think that I probably would have put my foot down on something like that. But again, if this lady just behaved like a normal human being, an adult, and used her words calmly and politely, I absolutely take the statue. I don't need it. It's not like my existence isn't depending on it. Yeah, take it. It's a $5 statue. Why not? I'll probably find something like it on Amazon. Like I think that's the big issue with people in today's society, that so many people think that in order to get what they want, they have to raise their voice and raise their tone and their temper and intimidate people into doing what they want. When the reality is, if they just act like a human being, people are 10 times more likely to help you with whatever you need. And maybe one day they'll learn, but apparently today is not that day. Like it's like when I tell you guys for the comment section to, like never shame someone for not having experience. Never, like no one wants to listen to you if you yell at them. Like when you try to demean somebody, it makes them shut down. They're not interested in listening to you. They're not interested in helping you. They don't want to hear your side of things. Like, if you just talk to someone like a human being, they're more likely to receive you as a human being. But if you just come off as a jerk, they're gonna receive you as a jerk. Like that just is what it is. So I'm going good apple on that one, personally. And you might have a different opinion, and that's totally okay. I'm just going good apple because I don't feel like I can go anything else when I feel like I would have done something similar, Like I feel like that would make me a hypocrite. So that's what I'm doing. I got 3 good apples and 1 bad apple. It's really a bad batch. Did you get anything similar to me? Did you get anything different? I would love to hear everything in the comment sections of what you think and why you might disagree with me on any of these stories. As always, again, if you want a chance for your story to be featured on Am I the Bad Apple, you can send it to my subreddit, r/amIthebadapple. And for your well wishes this week, I hope that you reconnect with a friend or a loved one, someone who, you just haven't talked to in a long time, whether it was just, you all got busy or just became distant because life got a little hectic, or someone that you might have had a falling out with before. I hope that you are able to reconnect with someone and either hang out as old friends or find some reconciliation. Like, this is what I hope for you guys, is that you have this reconnection and it goes well, and that it's just, a good time. And that's my well wishes for you this week. That was kind of deep. A lot of times they're like silly, but I'm feeling a little sentimental this week. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I hope to see you all next week. Bye, my lovelies. Mwah.